Way up north,
to Alaska,
way up north,
to Alaska,
north to Alaska. Go north for Russia's home. North to Alaska. Go north for Russia's home.
Hi, and welcome to the 8th episode of North Cabin Fibercrafts. I'm your host, Lori U on Ravelry, Plurk, and Twitter. Lori Green on Facebook. And we also have a Facebook and Ravelry group for North Cabin Fibercrafts. So take a look. Like us on Facebook and come on over and join the group. Welcome to all of you that are returning, and welcome to those of you who are new. I want to first start off by saying that this may be the last official podcast until we return from Alaska. We're leaving on June 25th and returning on August 6th. Depending on internet service, cellular service, any of those kind of things, I might do quick video updates to YouTube. Currently, I'm not able to put anything else up on iTunes. I've been having problems with my hosting service, and when I get back from Alaska, I will be changing hosting services, and we'll get back in the swing of things for getting it back onto iTunes. But for the time being, just look for us either on the blog at northcabinfibercrafts.blogspot.com. Also in the Ravelry group, I'll do some updates there, and I generally try and embed my podcast into the Ravelry group. And also on the blog, and again, you can find it on YouTube. So, thank you again. And let's try and get on with the show. I'm going to try and wrap this up as quickly as possible. I have several thank yous. I have some new items. I have a little bit of news. And let's take a deep breath and rock this baby out. So, first off, I'd like to do my review. I was sent by Lemon Half on Plurk. Her real name is Becca Gussler from Gussler Designs. She also helped me do all my logo work. So hey, Becca. She's working with, I believe it was setting up a website for this company called Yazzi, YAZZII.com. And I received 2 bags to review. These bags are really, really cute, and this particular one I am going to take to Alaska. I'm going to put some of my needles in it and my notions and my stitch markers and stuff. So this one I really like. This, at the website, the product code on this one I believe is CA10 Mini Craft Organizer 26.95, and it says petite. This one, as you can see, is purple. It has a nice little handle here. It unzips to reveal a zippered pocket here, along with 4 zippered pages with clear fronts. And in the very back, there's also another little zippered compartment. And this zips up really nice. It's a quilted, I believe, cotton type fabric, pre-quilted. And I really like this bag. I highly recommend it. It's a very cute bag. The second one I received is a crafter's basket. I really like this, and I will be using it. As you can see, this is in a color that is burgundy, a burgundy red. The product code on this one is CA700 Crafter's Basket. I believe this one is $46.95. I'm not positive that I was able to find the exact or correct item for this one. But it's a cute little toady style bag, and it has a multitude of pockets around it. Looks like there are 6, 3 long, 3 short, 2 large end ones, and another 6 on this side that you can fill full of stuff. The inside also has two Velcroed pockets here. I don't know if you could see it, it's kind of dark. But a couple of Velcroed pockets on either side. And I really like this, but I'm very limited on my carry-ons for the airplane. So this one will not be going to Alaska, as I'm going to try and cram as much as I can into my backpack, which includes electronics, some knitting, all my purse items, and then, you know, a tote or duffel to carry the rest of stuff that we're not checking baggage in large suitcases. We haven't packed everything yet. As I said, I think today's Thursday. So we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's like 12 days. We leave on the 12th day, I believe around noon. So we have a lot of work to do. John purchased a couple new pair of pants, a heavy kind of duck cloth for trouncing around in the woods or what have you. They're a tad bit long, so I had those hemmed for him. We just got them back. And they're a Carhartt type material, so if any of you are familiar with Carhartt, those things are hard as a rock, stiff as a board, and you cannot possibly wash them enough. They literally last for practically ever. And we got these at Cabela's, so they're the Cabela's brand, but they're just as stiff, just as hard, just as durable, and I've been washing them. He's not even hardly worn them, but I keep washing and washing and washing and washing and washing in hopes that I can soften them up a little bit so he'll be comfortable in them, you know. So, okay, getting back to reviews. Got a little bit off topic there. So those were the reviews that I had. And I want to thank Becca, and I also want to thank Yazzie.com for sending these for review. As I said, I can't wait. I'm using this one for packing needles and notions and whatnot. And the other one I will get plenty of use out of when I return home. And I think it would be good to carry spindles in, perhaps. A few spindles, some fiber and whatnot to just carry around. I don't know, I'll have to give it a shot and fill it up and see what works best. Okay, my other thank you is to Tina, and she is Blooming Knitter on Plurkin Twitter and also on Ravelry. And she also has a podcast called Knitting Blooms and a Ravelry group there. She recently purchased one of my big, giant sweater bags that I've made several of. Coggy TM had referred to them as big ass sweater bags. They're big. They're really, really big, and if you've listened to Coggy or if you've watched Tina's podcast, you know how big they are. But just as a refresher, I'll show you a couple new ones I have available. I really want to thank Tina for reviewing them and also purchasing the bag. And I really hope you get as much use out of it as you think you will, and you absolutely love it. You made mention that you'd like to see a few smaller sizes of the same kind of bag, and I actually have a few of I would say medium size, not small, but more of a medium size that I'm working on right now. That's going to come to a screeching halt until after Alaska. I won't have anything to put up in the shop or anything like that. Actually, I'd like to let you all know that next Friday, and what's the date next Friday? The date next Friday is the 21st of June. I'm going to put the shop in vacation mode on the 21st of June. If any of you would like to make any purchases from the Etsy store, it's northcabinfibercraft.etsy.com, and I will be sure to get those orders out before I leave. I'd like to put it in vacation mode on Friday. That gives me Friday through Monday to make sure all my loose ends are tied up, all the bills are paid, all the house stuff is ready to go, the animals are taken care of, and mainly to make sure we're packed properly and ready to walk out the door on Tuesday morning. So just so you know, again, I'm going to put the shop in vacation mode on June 21st. I will not open the shop again until it'll probably be the weekend after we return on August 6th. So it would be that weekend. That gives me a few days to get back in the saddle, get back into the house, get back around people, reintegrate myself. As most of you may know, we're going to be out in the bush, so we're not going to have a whole lot of people time, and there's going to be an awful lot of peace and quiet. So reintegrating, I think, for myself may take a few days to just really come back to normal. So, okay, with that said, I have one more thank you. And I had mentioned before about the mats for homeless that my mom and her group are making, and I showed a couple podcasts ago how big they are and how dense and how wonderful they are, made out of your basic grocery store plastic shopping bags. And I want to thank, I got this big envelope stuffed full from Heather Laws. And I'm sorry, Heather, I'm not sure of your Ravelry name or your clerk name. I forgot to look it up and you didn't put it on here. But I want to thank you very much. She sent the self-addressed stamped envelope, and what I'm going to do is put a button in it and get it out in the mail. I received this about a week or so ago, but I wanted to make sure and get it on this podcast. She sent a bunch, and they're already cut up and ready to use. So I will get those over to my mom. Let's see, I just came back from there the other day, so she may not get these unless my daughter visits with her by the time I get back. But she thanks you very much. I told her all about them, and that we, had received some more bags. And I actually spent some time with her yesterday when I went to pick up John's hemmed pants. She recruited me to sit and flatten out the bags so that she could cut them. And I had a brainstorm of an idea. I was like, why don't you're a quilter. You have to have an old rotary blade, and you have cutting mats. Lay them things out 5 thick or whatever, and use your ruler and cut many, many, many. We cut hundreds yesterday. She cut hundreds. I flattened them all out and got them all stacked up in groups of 5. She cut the ends off either one and cut them right down the middle, and she had stacks and stacks. We must have done hundreds of them. So she's ready with her group to go, I believe, next Wednesday and get the crochet on and get some more mats going. So I want to thank you, Heather, and thank everyone else who has sent or who has met up with me and given me trunk loads of bags. That's great. Now let's get on to the regular show. In the wild is basically just details of different Alaska type things, and as I said, we have shipped at least 4 or 5 boxes that include everything from fly fishing poles to towels to camp stoves and rubber boots, waders, hiking boots, you name it. We shipped several boxes. It was either 4 or 5 big boxes. We pre-shipped them to John's friend Andy in Alaska, in Anchorage. So those should be there waiting for us by the time we get there. The Wacky, which is my life, I have just been running around. It seems like this whole week something in my mind has been telling me we're leaving next Tuesday. We're leaving next Tuesday. We're not. I have a whole nother week. But I'm still freaking out about it because I know we're not completely there. I want to have the house cleaned and organized and all the dye stuff put away, all the knitting stuff and spinning stuff put away. I don't want, my little puddles on the end tables and stuff like that all lingering around when my daughter's staying here watching the house and the animals. So I guess I'm just starting to feel a little bit of a crunch. And along with the crunch, it's not a bad thing. It's an excellent thing because I'm going to get a little bit of a break. I'm going over to Coggy TM's this weekend. She's hosting a spinning day at her house. There'll be several people, local people, in and out and what have you. And for me, it's about a 2.5 hour drive, but I'm going over Saturday morning bright and early to be there around 10-ish when spinning starts. And I'm actually going to spend the night and come home on Father's Day. So I am really looking forward to having a kind of tiny little break before the super big crunch next week. I don't know that I'll be able to podcast anything next week. I would like to. I plan on, well, currently we're going to go go-kart racing tonight, and I'm going to strap the GoPro camera on John's helmet, so maybe I'll have a little bit of racing footage. And then I told Coggy that I was going to wear the head strap and plant that camera right here on my forehead and sit there at spinning day while we have conversation and we're spinning stuff on all the different wheels that people will be bringing. So I might have a little bit of that too. Whether it gets into a formal podcast, I don't know. It might just get uploaded to YouTube and I'll throw up a link and everyone can just enjoy a little bit of fun video stuff. So that's pretty much the wacky. No, not exactly. I did do the evaporated milk test. I had the small little tiny can and you mix it 1 to 1. I was getting ready to cook some, Jiffy cornbread or something for dinner, and I'm like, I'm going to try this. It calls for milk. So I mixed it up and I did the smell test, and it really wasn't so bad. I mean, you could kind of tell it smelled like it came out of a can, but other than that, it wasn't that bad. So I figured, I'm going to just sip it. So I sipped it and I was like, it's not bad. If it was ice cold, it might be a lot better. So then I took it out into the garage where John was working, and I said, here, don't smell it, just taste it. And he was like, what do you mean don't smell it? How can you eat something or drink something and not be smelling it? I'm like, just don't smell it, and just try and taste it. Let me know what you think. And he's like, it's not bad. I don't know that I'd go drinking an entire glass of it just because I wanted a glass of milk, but it might be different if it was ice cold. So actually I have been doing a lot of cooking with it, different things. I made sausage gravy one morning with it. Like I said, I made the Jiffy cornbread mix because he really likes those. And I'm sure I used it in a couple other things to just keep on testing in different recipes, making sure it's, it works fine. It works fine. If you ever run out of milk and you keep one of those in the cabinet, go ahead and use it. It's great for baking or cooking. So I did that. I also did make a bannock. Bannock is a bread. It's kind of a flat biscuit type bread, and I guess it's kind of popular whether it's in Alaska or just like in the bush of anywhere, or people that do a lot of camping, because if you don't have a real oven, this stuff, you put it in a cast iron skillet on the coals or on a stove top, and you let it get all crispy brown and everything, and you can put a lid on it to help it cook a little bit faster. And then after it gets all crispy, kind of golden brown on the outside, you flip it over in the pan and cook it a little bit more. Ta-da, you have bread. The first one I did was so-so. Wasn't that great. I did do that one in the oven because I'd never even mixed the ingredients together before and tried it. The second one I did this recipe here. I found it on a website called The Art of Manliness. And it says, Baking in the Wild, How to Make Bannock Bread. There's a whole big story about it and everything. But basically, the basic bannock mix is 1 cup of flour, and you can use a mixture of white and wheat, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 cup of dry powdered milk, and 1 tablespoon of shortening. And you take that, and with your 2 knives or your pastry cutter thing, cut in that shortening until it's all kind of granulate, kind of like cornmeal. You put that into a zippy bag and you throw that in your backpack or your whatever. You make up a bunch of those and you have pretty much ready-made bread, because all you do at that point is add water, knead the bag around until it's all well moistened and not quite pancakey, but not really super biscuit stiff, somewhere in between. You flap that out into a heated or warmed skillet, kind of mash it out a little bit flattish, and cook it. And it was really good. So I'm taking that particular recipe. Again, it was called www.artofmanliness.com, and there's more stories there about it, and the actual directions, and a few photos of what it looks like. And he also talked about how if you're something about if your bannock is still a little gooey on the inside or something, just eat it anyways. It's like sweet spots or something like that, but I don't think I had any like gooey spots in mine. Okay, so, and I already talked to you about the iTunes part of things, that this one's not going on iTunes, the last one didn't go on iTunes. I'm having hosting problems. They're not returning any of my emails. There's no contact phone number, and I will be contacting the bank and have my payment per month stopped. And I'll just stick with YouTube for now until we get back from Alaska and I can figure out a better plan. So now we're into the segment which is work. I haven't done a ton lately. I've been just busy. I had a contract job with the local yarn shop, and so I wanted to fill a lot of that and get that done before I left. I've also been going up there 1 or 2 days a week and hanging out for a little bit, so that's a kind of time suck. Even though it's a pleasurable time suck, it's still a time suck. So I will just show you a couple of things that I've been working on. Self-striping. I do not have a readily available photo to show you of how these stripe. I plan on getting everything ready and doing a shop update sometime tomorrow. I do have a meeting tomorrow that is tentatively scheduled. If it's canceled, either way, I will post on the blog, on Facebook, and on Plurk when I'll be doing a shop update and what time tomorrow, but I plan on doing it tomorrow. This particular self-striping is in lime green. It's supposed to be a sangria, but it's a little bit more purpley color, yellow, and an orange. And this is pretty much how it stripes, and then it comes back and does it again and repeats and so on. I will have pictures of the knitted sample up with this. There will be 2 of these up for sale in the shop tomorrow. Same with this one. This is a aqua color, a dark blue, white, orange, and kind of a sagey green, light green. This one stripes up really uniquely, so you'll have to take a look at that when I get it up there. But I also have 2 of these, along with, I had 2 that I showed, I believe, last time. They are up in the shop right now. There's only 1 of each. And so those are my self-stripings. With the leftover colors from this self-striping, I was able to get 2 Shetland braids with the same colors all through it. And this Shetland is awesome. I have a little mini braid that I'm going to actually spin up because it's not coarse, it's not hard, it's not as soft and slippery as like merino, but it just has a really good fluffy, bouncy texture. It's really super squishy. So I have 2 of these that will be going in the shop. On a, let's see, I think it was leftover green from this one here, on an oatmeal colored base of BFL, I got this kind of piney green. It looks like the screen there is showing it a little bit more yellow than it probably is. but to me it's kind of a real piney, kind of piney brownish, piney grayish color. And it's just you know, you can kind of see here, let's see if I can find it. Okay, you can kind of see here where the color changes a little bit. And that's just with the color added in a kettle over this really scrumptious BFL. I really like this oatmeal colored base to work with. Also out of that same kettle, I was able to do a BFL sock weight, and right off the top of my head, the base name is Johnson Pass. So it's very similar. Again, this camera seems to be showing it a lot brighter and yellowy. It's a deeper greenish, grayish, real piney color. So I have one of those to go in the shop. With the leftover sangria dye, I got this beautiful on the sled dog or dog sled base, which is a 7525 superwash merino nylon base. I was able to get this. So if you don't really want the self-striping or don't need the self-striping, I have one here in that mix of colors. Also with this one, which I think we're calling this one Skater Boy or Skater Socks. I'm not sure which. I will name them and they will go up in the shop. This one here will be called Sangria. This would have been out of the Skater Boy or Skater Socks, and this is done on the really silky one. Which is that? Right off the top. Wow, I'm just like totally bombing out here, aren't I? This one is, I know it's 50/50 merino tencel. I can't remember the exact name of the base. It is, I believe, 450 yards also, and it's really super drapey and squishy and silky soft. And it's the same colors. They're just really light, muted, you know, summery. This stuff I think is like great to make a shawl out of, just a summer weight shawl, just light and fluffy. And guess what? That's it. I did finish spinning the Tiger Eye, which was out of my stash, and it was merino bamboo and Firestar. It is about probably 9 ounces total. I forgot. Jeez. Oh, I got 560 yards out of that. I wasn't thinking about recording. I was so excited to get it off the bobbin. It was all plied up, 2-ply, ready to go. Got it on my Swift, tied it up, soaked it. It's hanging out on the line right now. I do have a photo of it, but again, it's in the camera and not here so I can show it to you. So maybe I could show it to you next time. But it came out really nice. I really like it, and it's really not my color, so I don't know if I'm going to use it or if I'll put it up in the shop as a hand spun. But it's nice. The Woolly. Oops. Guess what? The Woolly is just dyeing, spinning, or knitting, whatever I've been up to lately. Just my stuff. I've done like no knitting. Virtually nothing. I did cast on the Drizzle hat, and that hat pattern, I know you guys know where it's from, but I will get that information quickly. Drizzle is by Mel Ski on Ravelry, and it's kind of a slouchy hat with some lacy panels in it, and I'm using a hand spun, and I believe it's merino silk, and it's a little bit tweedy, which it probably won't show here. This is like a smaller skein. I balled up the larger skein. So I'm just going to make it out of that, and my hopes are to have it done and made as a gift for Andy's girlfriend. So So when we get to Alaska, we will each have a gift to give. Getting on with that. I will get back to John's gift in a minute. An exact minute. Other than that, the only thing I've been knitting is the samples of the self-striping to take photos of them and put with the shop updates for the two new self-stripings that I have, or that I will have available tomorrow. Now, we're into the woods. Okay, back again. Camera time's out about 30 minutes. I wasn't watching the clock. So now we're back into the woods. This is the John part of things, and so far John hasn't been a part of any of it, other than me talking about him on occasion. This guy's pretty gifted. He's pretty talented, and he's really super creative, and I really enjoy being with him because both of us, with all the creativity going, let's just say the house can be quite a mess at times with multiple projects. The coffee table is really not a coffee table, it's John's project table. So, you don't want to put your feet up on that table because it's right now full of stuff from making new orifice hooks. Let's get right into the orifice hooks. I've taken photos of all of them. There's probably 22 to 24. I'm not going to put them up in the shop because I won't be available to sell them. I will be taking them over to Coggy TM's for spinning day. So anyone that is coming to spinning day has an opportunity to purchase one. After that, they will be traveling to the Michigan Fiber Fest, where they will be in CJ Kopak Creations, Kobe. She has offered to sell them for me in her booth. So I have to get my list together, and I took all my photos, and I need the inventory list made. But we just finished them all up, and they're awesome. There's some really awesome ones. You can tell that we went a little bit over and above from the last ones. You know, being in business or making things, it's kind of a learning curve, and you grow and expand and do things a little bit differently each time you do it. So I sat down and did a lot of the bead combinations, and with that, pat myself on the back. I think I did a really good job, and there's just some really, really cool beads on these. They're wonderful, and some of the shapes that John chose, and hand polished, sanded, and shaped. He chose some really good and unique shapes too. They're just really awesome. There's a couple that I have chosen that I really would like to have myself, but alas, I still do not have my own. Two new additions are Bone. My dog Angus, he's a Cane Corso, which is an Italian Mastiff. He's about 135, 140 pound-ish. Big giant gray / blue dog, and he's a big lump. But you get him the bones, the kiln dried bones from the pet store, about this big. Big giant, I'm sure they're cow bones of some sort, cow leg bones or something. They're huge, they're really big. Well, as soon as you hand him one, he runs out in the backyards and buries it. Almost never to be seen again, because he won't bring it back in the house and chew on it. He won't have anything to do with it. So when we're out mowing the lawn or doing anything like that, occasionally we'll tumble across one. They've been fairly even more weathered out in the yard. John has captured a few of them, and with one in particular, he had these knife blanks, and they're a Damascus steel. And a Damascus steel is a steel that is folded over and heated and hammered or what have you many, many, many times, so that it gives you, I don't know if the camera will be able to show this, maybe like that, gives you kind of a zebra effect to the metal. So he purchased several of these blanks We were all supposed to get a knife for Christmas. No one got a knife for Christmas. Anyways, he decided to take a stab at it. He got in the mood and he was going to make something. Found one of Angus's bones out there and started cutting it up and playing with it after he had finished a bunch of orifice hooks. So this here, the handle, is made from the dog's bone that we found out in the backyard. There's a really cool design on the back side of this blade. I don't know if I could show it in here. Anyways, this one's John's knife. Is the first one. So he made that, and then, you know, you have to have a sheath to go over a knife like that because it's not a folding knife. I last year had purchased for Christmas presents some leather, and it's actually horsehide. I believe it's the strap, the whole strap that goes across the horse's butt, whole hind quartery sections. And so John cut and did this whole sheath for the knife. As you can see, there's some grizzly bear prints stamped on it. All this stitching is sewn by hand with needle and thread. He pre-punched or pre-marked the holes, drilled the holes, and then sat on the couch and hand stitched it. And you know, silly me, I didn't take video of that because that would have been great. But he hand stitched the whole thing. He, you know, folded it over here so it can slide onto your belt. He has a nice snap on it. So you slide the knife into the sheath, snap it on, and wear that on your belt. He made one for his friend Andy. This one is out of elk antler. And he had this giant elk antler, huge, huge, huge thing, cut up pieces of it. So you have this antler, and you can see that design that's cut into the back edge of the blade, or the blank. You can see it on the end, right there, and it's on that Damascus steel, which you might be able to see it better in this. And there's the other side. And these came out amazing. Amazing. Like, I want one. Where is mine? We're going to Alaska. Don't we need to have these things with us? He also made this sheath to go with it, and this is just a plain, weathered looking one. It's out of that same horsehide, tanned horsehide. And there's the belt loop. Here's the snap. Let's see, we put it right in here. This one's actually Andy's gift of thanks to one, hosting us and doing a bunch of leg work with the boat and loaning us his truck for 6 weeks. And if you could see this stitching, it's even tinier and closer than the last one. And he marked all those out, drilled all those holes, and hand stitched them with needle and thread. It's pretty amazing, isn't he? Quite talented. He said that when we get back from Alaska, probably the fall-winter projects, we'll be making several of these, and we'll probably put them up in the shop for sale. So if you're interested, or you have a husband who's a hunter, avid hunter, or someone who collects knives that are handmade, look us up. I'll be sure to let you all know. That's that. Okay, we got done with the John part, the knife part, all of that. The wish list. Nothing really new on the wish list. Like I said, went and bought a GoPro camera. We're racing go-karts tonight. Strapping it onto his, or securing it onto his helmet. We might get a little video there. I also got a head strap that we get to mount the camera on and just sit and talk to people at Spinning at Coggy TM's on Saturday. Haha! Everybody make sure your hair and makeup's done, okay? And the wonder how the heck we're ever going to be ready for Alaska. I don't know. I was at the local yarn shop the other day, and this lady was like, she came in and she wanted to buy yarn to make a baby Afghan. One due in like September or something. She's like, I just need some mindless knitting. I'm going on vacation for 3 weeks and I just want something I don't have to think about too much, but that can keep me busy in the downtimes. So we got to talking about it and I was like, yeah, I need to line up all my knitting projects and even a couple of spindles and some little things of fiber. If I have to suck the air out of them and make them flat as a envelope to get them to Alaska, I'm doing it. I want to have choices, you know. So I told her, you know, that, you know, I'm going 6 weeks to Alaska and I got to make sure I have, you know, enough projects to keep me busy when I'm not busy. And she goes, you're going to Alaska? I'm leaving next week and going for 3 weeks and we'll be around the Anchorage area and so on and so forth. So that was really kind of cool just to be like in the local yarn shop and chatting about the fact that we're going to Alaska. So I told John about it when I got home and he was like, Lori, we're not the only ones that go to Alaska. I'm like, really? Like, how many people do you, and it's not a cruise. She wasn't going on a cruise either. She was going not out into the bush necessarily, but going to Anchorage, and then they were doing a lot of driving excursions around for 3 weeks. I don't even think they were camping. They're probably hoteling it. But anyways, it was really nice to talk to someone else who was going to the same place. Small world, right? And other than that, my other reason to go to Coggy TM's is the Sarge had a whole terabyte of movies and TV series recorded on an external drive that he had taken to Afghanistan either the time before or this last time. Yeah, and it was going to be really expensive to get a lot of TV movies or get a lot of things downloaded or purchased or what have you for the iPad. So I'm going to take my little Wi-Fi external drive over there and copy all the stuff on, all the movies and TV shows and stuff onto it. And that was another thing. Darn, I can't remember. I already have it packed, ready to go to Coggy's. But it's Wi-Fi. It has built-in enabled Wi-Fi. You don't need to be in McDonald's or have cellular service or any kind of thing like that. It's built-in Wi-Fi. So I could tell the iPad to connect to it and take a movie and put it on the iPad and we can watch it and then we can delete it off the iPad. It's still on the hard drive. And then keep, you know, do it that way so I'm not chewing up all the memory and stuff in my iPad. So I thought that was super cool. Purchased that. I think it's a terabyte. And I believe we'll have more movies and TV shows and what have you than we'll even watch. But John and his TV time, we have gone to the cabin a couple of times. There's no TV. There's nothing like that there. He's actually he figured out a way to suspend from the rafters, I don't know, just cable or cording or probably my yarn, and be able to fashion my iPhone so that it's hovering over him like this while he's laying on the couch and he's watching YouTube. So, TV goes everywhere, right? So I hope that I have enough TV time for him. I don't need to watch it. Maybe a movie or two. I did download a couple of the new movies that just came out, purchased them and downloaded them so that there's something new and different. But other than that, I hope I got it covered. And with that, I want to say thank you. See you all after Alaska. Have a great 6 weeks. I know I'm going to. And I hope to come back with big stories and lots to tell and plenty to show. And so keep us in your thoughts. And I wouldn't mind seeing a grizzly bear and a moose, but I don't want to be too close. So hopefully we're safe, everything goes well, we have a fabulous time, and we come back on Cloud 9. I'm just so excited. So with that, take care everyone. We'll see you probably officially in August. Have a great summer, because pretty much we're going to be gone all summer. And you know, again, check out the shop. If there's anything you want to purchase, make sure you get that done by the 21st. I can get everything shipped and out to you before I leave. Come and say hi, or actually goodbye, or bon voyage, or whatever you want to say up on the Ravelry boards. We'll see y'all soon. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Oh darn, I forgot one thing. That's kind of a big thing too. I wanted to show you all guys the new bags that I've been working on. Yes, they're the big ass bags, but I want to kind of give you just a quick eye candy view. This is, oh darn, there are 6 of them. We have black polka dots, a beige section, and we have the black sheep, well, the black background with sheep knitting. This is just a gorgeous bag. So cute. And like Tina said on her podcast, so big. See how big? Quickly, I can give you a rundown. The bottom is 8 inches by 13 inches rectangular. Pocket depth is 9 inches. Total bag height is 21 inches. The bag opening is about 20, and the strap is roughly 30 inches long. So, there's 1. Here's 2. It's also done with the same. We have a nice gray kind of fabric at the top. We have a little bit of knitting lingo, pinch of that beige, and lo and behold, our wonderful sheepies. And here we go on that one. If you didn't notice, look at my really cool ribbons that I have made. North Cabin Fiber Crafts. How's that? Really cool. Here's another one. This one's kind of a spin on either Noah's Ark or Farmyard. Not sure. Kind of starts out farmyard. You know, here's some, you know, red and white crackle. Some eggs in the straw. And then we have a bunch of critters. We have cows and chickens and rabbits. That one's kind of Noah's Arky, but it had a bunch of good critters on it. So we had the bunnies and the tigers and the sheep and the cows and elephants and lions and chickens and whatnot. So that's a cool one. Then we have another awesome sheepy one. There's some bright fabric up at the top, a little bit of the beigey contrast, and big giant sheep and puppy dogs. You can see it. See how close we can get. Sheep and puppy dogs for that one. And let's see, are we down to 1? Oh, we have 2 more. This one's kind of weird. Not exactly sure how this one went together this way. I think it was not exactly planned, but okay, on the top we have sushi. Sushi is cool, right? Nice strip of just brown. And then we have this bizarre, I'm just going to say bizarre kind of fabric that shows, let's see if I can find it. What is that? Okay, so that's like a Chinese takeout box with rice and chopsticks, right? And we have a cat playing with a yarn. And then we have this guy who's a skeleton. I don't know, you think the sushi was made from the skeleton meat? Like I said, it's kind of gross. But the skeleton's knitting, look. They kind of fell over dead knitting, just knit to death. It says quick and easy knitting projects right here. And we have a dog that got a hold of the knitting. And we have this kid that looks less than thrilled about the sweater that was made. So this was just kind of fun and wacky and sort of bizarre sense of humor all thrown together, right? We have one more. I guess it's pretty much, it's kind of a duplicate of the other one. So we have the checks at the top, a smaller band of eggs, and our 2x2 Noah's Ark or barnyard kind of theme here at the bottom. These are all lined all the way down. This one in particular is lined like this, so it's kind of a patchwork even on the inside. And that's all I wanted to show you. I thought I was done with the podcast, got up to walk away, and tripped over the bags and thought, oh, I forgot to show the bags. I'm going to go hang them out now, take some photos, or set them out, take their photos so they're ready to go in the shop update tomorrow. So, enjoy. Bye-bye.
Way up north.